So instead of running a unit whose entire shtick is being an AP battery, why not just turn Khalipe into a silver bullet and just have Vulture Ejection do everything for you? So jumping straight into it, we gain 1 AP for every copy of Vulture Ejection that we have. Overpower just to be a 2-cost card in case you want Khalipe to activate Celestial herself so that she can enable her own game plan if need be if we want to play her standalone in other teams. We chose the Rally to draw Celestial cards specifically because it will trigger a shuffle if all of our Vulture Ejections happen to be in the discard pile. And looking at the equipment, we have Veiled Thorn and the enhancement to increase the damage amount of 2-cost or higher attack cards. Moving on to the Lush Seaweed Armor, this is some extra sauce here, so when a 3-cost or higher card is activated, 1 AP. So for our first teammate, we have Veronica, who will just be helping us cycle through our deck a lot, you know, the usual bread and butter, right? Then for the enhancements, we have at start of battle game 1 stockpile, so this allows you to retain AP and actually carry that over to another turn. The Ring of Wildfire doesn't really do anything for us. And then next is looking at 9, who will be our second teammate because, you know, she's new, might as well just slap her in. And it's just the Ironclad 9, you've probably seen this build floating around, but here's what it looks like. And then looking at the enhancements for each item, so we have Millennium Arbor once again, and we also gain a stockpile here, so now we have 2 stockpile. And then we have our Seaweed Armor once again, and this makes sense because of Ironclad, so we might as well just like dip a little bit more into getting more shield. And then finally we have Dormant Seeds, and then once again the modifier of when a 3-cost card or higher is activated, we gain 1 AP 1 time per turn. So we also have that effect duplicated here, and with Khalipe as well. So if we play a Vulture Ejection, we get 1 extra AP once. If we play Hue directly for the actual full value, we'll also get an AP back. Now we can move on to the Distortion section. And I forgot to say this part, but there's no 5-star partners. I don't think there's a point to pulling them unless you're going for like leaderboards and Great Rift. And as always, of course, waifu over meta. We play our Reposes, we get all of the Vulture Ejections that we can into our hand, and then, so here we play our Hue, and then I'm just going to talk about the AP that's being generated here. So we gain 1 here, we gain 2 here, we gain 3 here, we gain 4 here with the Vulture Ejection, and then remember with Khalipe, we get the 5th one, so we end up with 5 AP. Then we play Fighting Spirit, do our damage. We play Hue directly, just raw. And then here I decided to play Counterblade instead of the final Hue, just to be able to get the game plan running fully, right? Then here, instead of playing the 3rd Ironclad, I decided to play Counterblade instead. If we had drawn our 4th Vulture Ejection, we could have played everything in our hand, for the most part. So that marks our first turn, right? And you get the idea of the general game plan, so we'll actually skip ahead to a dream turn, right? So this is our optimal hand, where we have all Vulture Ejections in hand, we play our Hue, we get 4 AP back plus 1 from the Khalipe equipment, and another plus 1 from the 9 equipment. We'll end up with 6 mana after all of this. I think there also happens to be a bug with the Silver Veil animation, because in this case, right, you see my AP total be at 5, it should actually be at 6 instead. 1 for 9's equipment, 1's for Khalipe's equipment, all 4 Vulture Ejections, right? 2 plus 4. For it saying 5, I think it might just be the way that Silver Veil, I don't know, it fudges up the numbers. I've seen it go to -1 when I spend that actual extra AP that I do have. And skipping forward, I'll just do a like quick play in the background of me just going through the final moments. This is where I had an oh shit moment of, wait, I might actually just die trying to showcase the build, right? And in that case, it would have been back to the drawing board, right? I decided to cast my ult just to proc the damage off of it, using the 3rd Hue here, proc and bleed, drawing a bunch of cards. Really just trying to figure out, okay, can I actually beat this thing before I die, or else do I have to try to go back to the drawing board and make the build all over again? Or just like to figure out how to further min-max, maybe like equipment should be better, so on and so forth, right? So you'll see me kind of staring at my hand a little bit here, thinking, well, can I actually clear it? And at this point, like, obviously, I would include the footage unless I, of course, did. So there you go. That is Nebula Distortion 9/9 Elemental Spirit. Now moving on into Spiral Tower Screams, we're at floors 71 to 75. So that's currently what's available for that like game mode. and you'll see the general game plan once more. I skipped ahead all the way to the final boss because you already get the idea of the game plan, right? All the vulture ejections, play the U, play Fighting Spirit to cheat out the rest of the cards. But here we actually see Overpower coming into play as well, where I just get to get that vulnerability 2 on the enemy going on at the same time. And we can just fast forward through this part. Be sure to like and subscribe. Come check me out on Twitch. I also stream on YouTube as well, so whatever you choose, right? And maybe if y'all are interested, please let me know in the comments down below. Maybe you have ideas of other teammates I could build with this AP battery Khalipe, or potentially just wanting to know how this build came to be in the first place. So take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of the showcase, and I'm gonna go be a cat owner. I'll catch y'all later.